welcome. Can you introduce yourself
and
tell us how you got to where you are now?
Yeah, my name is David Poindexter. I'm a cloud architect at a boutique consulting company called Clean Slate Technology. We're just north of Indianapolis, Indiana. I got to start there because they were a software sales company with a consulting arm that was kind of doing custom app dev. After being in custom app dev for years and years, and DevOps and then cloud, they wanted to start something with AWS specifically. They wanted to start an actual partnership. So I had quite a bit of experience already. They brought me in, and now we're an AWS Premier Partner, one of the only ones in the Midwest.
Nice. And I know your name is David, but that's not how I really know you. How might people know you otherwise?
Probably roberttables, and that's the actual way you have to pronounce it.
Not roberttables?
No, it's roberttables.
God, I've been wrong for so long.
Yeah, okay. So known on Twitch, and actually Twitch is one of the ways that I got introduced to Twilio and got engaged with so many Twilions, which I suppose that's still what you guys call yourselves as employees, and other members of the community. And I got really interested in IoT at the same time, and I started building things that used both of those.
Yeah. Nice. I actually, I loved when I joined Twilio getting to play with some of the IoT stuff.
Yeah.
I joined before that was sold out. So I got to do a little bit of the building with the super sims, and that was such cool stuff. I have a robotics background, so I love physical things.
I did a little alternative workaround since I couldn't get my hands on the official Twilio IoT stuff. I started using things from a company called Particle.
Okay.
And I met one of their DevRels, and he hooked me up with some sample Particle IoT gear.
Nice.
The coolest was the 3G particle board, which meant you had cellular.
Yeah.
You want to hear about the project I use that on?
Sure.
So one of the things that I personally have a problem with is unexpected car issues. And the biggest one is in the harsh Indiana winters, from the damage over the harsh summers. You go out to start your car at work and the battery's dead.
Yeah.
So I thought, surely there's a solution for this. And there is. Cars have a thing called an OBD2 port.
Okay.
This is a data port. It exposes a CAN bus and a bunch of other proprietary things. And you can actually read telemetry off your car, including battery voltage level.
Got it.
So there's a Particle 3G board that plugs directly into this adapter that I found online somewhere. And so now, before I know it, I'm streaming telemetry into Particle's cloud. Now, Particle had an integration with Twilio via webhook.
Okay.
And I was able to pluck out the pieces of data that I want that are just the battery-related ones. And I was able to send myself a text message using Twilio SMS if I got below a certain threshold, so I can go out and start my car and charge a battery back up.
So you had your car texting you if it was risk of dying.
Exactly.
So you could start it.
Yes, solving a problem, right?
Does it still work?
No.
Okay. Got it. I love that. What is the most impactful thing you've built with Twilio recently? And was there like a specific aha moment for you?
So one of the most recent things that I've been getting into is leveraging AI as a developer and also for product management. So one of the things we do is we take features and we break them down using spec-driven development with Kiro. And so that communicates through an MCP server to Azure DevOps and creates a whole bunch of tickets and things, right? That's real cool. Where's Twilio fit in? Well, when we're completing these things, I also want to be texted when big features ship, because I'm out and about and the team is working on these things.
Right.
So rather than having to log in to ADO, I can use Twilio to text me. Now, how am I doing that? Well, with Twilio SMS and their API and protected credentials, I'm able to use Kiro skills and agents to learn how to use Twilio, the API, to send me a text.
Nice. That's so much fun. And I like how it's more about your personal use case.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel that the most interesting thing with technology is solving very personal needs. One of the impactful things I remember hearing about at a Twilio Signal, there was a solution where a municipality was inefficient with picking up garbage. There would be areas where the bin doesn't need picked up at all, they pick it up anyway. There'd be areas where the bins are overflowing before pickup, and then now those people are unhappy. And so what they did is they used sensors, IoT sensors, to measure the level of the trash and more intelligently coordinate when they pick up whom.
Oh, I love that.
So this solves the municipality's problem. This also solves the individual's problem because they don't have heaping piles of trash in their yard.
Yeah.
And they save money doing it.
I love that. That's such a cool thing. The first people that I ever interviewed for Twilio was a company called Ridwell, which helps recycle hard to recycle things like plastic film. And they use Twilio and like is their like main way that they interact with customers. And I get a text message every 2 weeks being like, hey, do you want us to come pick your stuff up?
That's fantastic.
Because then they don't have to waste the driver's time or gas.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick it up if I don't need it. And I can also text them and be like, hey, how do I recycle this weird thing?
Yeah.
And they always have an answer for me. It's awesome.
Well, I feel like in that case, the text is the appropriate contact format because it's both asynchronous, but also a little bit more instant.
Yes.
Because you answer it when you want, but you can answer it wherever you're at.
Yes. Yeah,
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. That's why I love SMS more than anything else. It's my favorite method.
It is one of my favorites.
We're hearing a lot about AI agents and agentic coding. How are you using AI? How's it working? How's it kind of falling short? And are there any like eye-rolly trends that you're seeing right now?
I think that the way that it's working is that it's giving people that are non-technical an accessible opportunity to do cooler things.
Yeah.
Like we have product managers that are not super technical, but they're able to use it to kind of offset them not being technical, but they can still be up to speed and they can ask it questions. And I think it's working really well in that regard. One of the ways that it's not working is that specifically with agentic software assistants, coding assistants, is that before then, only 20% of the effort was the writing of the code. The other 80% is the bug fixing, the testing, the reading the pull request, and all of that. Yeah. With agentic coding, we've compressed that 20% down to be such a small fraction that we can get more code written. We've done nothing with that 80%. Yeah. And it's starting to build a backlog of pull requests that are they're large. There's sometimes not a lot of context as to why it did this. The other thing is I've noticed if you don't have guardrails and train the AI with specific skill sets, it tends to start defaulting to only writing Python. Now you're like, why would it only write Python? Well, that's because the data scientists that created all this, Python is what they knew. So it turns problematic on a Ruby project.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I had one recently where I picked up someone's code base and I asked AI to do something. But let me do a quick refactor. Rewrote the entire thing.
Yeah, no, we don't want that. That's eye roll.
Yeah, exactly.
The other eye roll thing that I've found is that a lot of generative AI now moving into video, and I've got an example. It's becoming harder to detect, but if you know what to look for, it's still there. And the problem is it fools a lot of people. A recent example is I saw this video that was Jimmy Kimmel on a stage, very visual, like similarity likeness. His voice was exact, and he was going on about politics or something. But I caught something is that it said 1 5-foot tall statue. I reported it immediately as AI because we don't say 15-foot tall statue as humans. It was just that little bit, and then there was more scrutiny put to it, and it was AI generated.
Right. Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's little things that I just hope we can keep catching them.
Of course, you can always use it jokingly. Yeah. Like if you are at a company event and they are saying like an award for someone, and it's like printed up there on a slide, and you can be like, that's AI.
Yeah. For sure. Look, my entire Signal talk has an AI voice.
There you go.
Is running through it as comic relief.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. What's one piece of advice that you would give someone just getting started on integrating AI into their customer engagement?
Just one?
You can give as many as you want.
I would say start off small, and I would start leveraging it to do what you already know how to do, but find tedious. Start that way, because then at worst case, you can be judgmental about the output because you know what the output kind of should be. Yeah. And just leverage that to get your boring stuff automated. You know, people worry about AI is going to automate me out of a job. No, I want AI to automate me out of the parts of the job that I don't like so I can spend more time doing the things I do. That'd be my advice for someone new to it, and not like jump in way above your head, because it's difficult to come back from it, and it's not cheap. All those tokens, you're generating, 15,000 line files, you're paying for that. Yeah. So I'd say start small with something you do know how to do, but don't want to do anymore.
Nice. Great. Well, roberttables, aka David, thank you so much.
Happy to talk.
Yeah.